Now let's see how to write the same thing in the vector form. Okay, so if I have to write it in the vector form, the idea is going to be I need to write them either as a cross product or dot product between two vectors. So for me to do that, what I'm supposed to do is I need to look at the idea. I have sine theta here. Okay. So when you do, what kind of a vector product between two vectors is it going to give you sine theta?
Sir, cross product.
So we need to do cross product. Am I right? That's good. So cross product means you need two vectors in your hand. So let us see all the parameters that we have in our hand. Now we look at I. I is not a vector, it's a scalar. It has only direction, it has direction and magnitude, but it does not follow the vector laws of addition. That is why it is not a vector quantity. Whereas DL can be treated as a vector element, and the direction to this DL can be given in the direction of current itself. Okay, so DL, yes, it is a vector quantity. I is not a vector quantity. Obviously, sine theta is not a vector quantity, and R is a vector quantity. Okay, so R is going to be a vector quantity. So if I want to write it in vector form, I need to write the cross product between DL and some other vector so that I get sine theta. So what is the other vector we can think of? It is R. Then how do I write dB is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi into, if I treat the two vectors as ideal as one vector and R as one vector, we know this formula, right? A vector cross B vector is equal to AB sine theta, right? But B vector cross A vector is also equal to AB sine theta, but we say they both are not equal. Why? We know the general rule that A cross B is not equal to B cross A. Any reason?
So the directions are different.
What directions? You're there, almost there, but what directions are you trying to talk about?
Clockwise,
angles.
anti-clockwise.
That's right. It is the clockwise and the anti-clockwise, right? Because I didn't write one point here. That is nothing but n cap. Okay. If you're doing the cross product, you should write it as AB sine theta. You should include a normal vector which is perpendicular to both A and B vectors. If here it is n vector, here it will be minus n cap. Okay, they both are in the opposite direction. That is why A cross B is not equal to B cross A. In a similar way, I can write ideal cross R either as ideal vector cross R vector or ideal vector, R vector cross ideal vector. I can write in both the forms, but we need to choose which one is right among the both. Okay, for us to choose, we need to know some more theory. This is not sufficient for us to analyze this. For that, what we will do is, in your lower grades, again, your 10th standard, you would have learned that magnetic field is a vector quantity. It has directions associated with it, right? So whether you're talking about gravitational field, electric field, or magnetic field, everything has a direction associated with along with the magnitude. Okay. Now, there is a rule called as right hand thumb rule. So the right hand thumb rule is the one which is used to measure, which is used to find the direction of magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. Okay. So let me state how this right hand, let me tell you how this right hand thumb rule is stated. It is stated like this. Place, you can make a note of it. Place the finger of your right hand in the direction of current and curl the fingers in the direction of holding it. So I'm repeating it. Place the finger of your right hand in the direction of current and curl the fingers in the direction of holding it, holding the conductor. Then the direction in which, I'm repeating it, the direction in which fingers are curled gives the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, this is what is right hand thumb rule. So if you have finished this, we will go to the next step. So the next step is going to be, I'm going to explain a little bit about cross product. So cross product of vectors, if I have A vector and B vector in hand, okay, then A vector cross B vector will be equal to mod of A vector into mod of B vector into sine theta multiplied with n cap, right? So what does this n cap represent? N cap is the normal vector perpendicular to both A vector and B vector. Perpendicular to both A vector and B vector. So how is it going to be? So that is what this cross product is all about. Okay. So I will show you how it actually means. Before that, I want you people to tell me what is I cap cross I cap. Someone try to answer.
Sir, 0, sir.
Reason?
Sir, you cannot.
0.
Angle between I and I is.
Angle between I and I is going to be. Is it Stevenson?
Angle between them is equal to 0.
Is equal to 0. That's right. Then if I ask you what is I cap cross J cap?
1, sir.
1.
See, is it 1? You were saying 1 because only of this factor, but my question is, I am more concerned about this. This is what is going to decide. So how do I write it? Magnitude of I cap into magnitude of J cap into sine theta multiplied with what? The unit vector. I am telling the unit vector is a normal vector which is perpendicular to both the vectors for which you are doing the cross product.
Sir, K cap, sir.
K cap.
Is it K cap or minus K cap?
K cap.
Sure.
K cap.
Yeah, it is K cap. So that's right. It is going to be K cap. Similarly, if you do J cap cross I cap, what is the answer?
Minus
K
K cap.
cap.
Minus K cap. So this one we know. I will show you how it has actually come also, don't worry. So if I take a circle and put it in simple terms and write it, I, J and K are taken, I, J, K should be taken in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, take I, J, K in anti-clockwise direction such that when you do I cross J, anything done in the counter-clockwise direction is positive, anything done in the clockwise direction is going to be negative. So I cross J is going to be K, J cross K is going to be I, and K cross I will be equal to J. Okay. Similarly, I cross K, I'm coming in the clockwise direction. I cross K will be minus J, J cross I is minus K, and K cross J is minus I. So that is how it goes. It's a simple theory. Okay. So based on these two rules only, I will be able to make a decision between what I'm supposed to write. So you need to have a clarity of this. For this, I'm switching on my video. I'll show you how to apply right hand thumb rule. So please pay attention. See, the only problem is I'll be visible only in a grid. I cannot come on the full screen. So observe this. So please focus. So if you take, you're able to observe this, right? If you take this as a conductor, okay, if this is taken as a conductor, let's say this is the direction of current. Then what does right hand thumb rule state? You have your book, right? Read it out. Place the finger of your, I'm sorry, I wrote it as finger. Sorry. Change it as place the thumb of your right hand. I didn't tell which finger. Place the thumb of your right hand in the direction of current. So let me say this is the conductor AB. This is the conductor AB. The current is flowing from here to here. Place the thumb in the direction of the current and curl the fingers as if you're going to hold it. So when you're trying to curl it, if you observe, I keep it like this. When I curl it on the right of my hand, the field is going into the plane, whereas when I come on the left, it is coming out of the plane. Out of the plane means towards me, into the plane is away from me. Okay, if you're able to visualize this, this is all about the right hand thumb rule, to put it in very simple terms. The next term that we are going to see is how to use the cross product, how to visualize the cross product. If suppose I have two vectors like this, okay, this is I cap, this is j cap, okay, or let me take this as two vectors like this. This is a vector, this is b vector. If suppose I want to do a cross b, concentrate, I'm saying if I want to do a cross b, then I need to rotate the first vector towards the second vector in the shortest direction possible. Okay, if I need to do that, a vector has to be curled towards the second vector in the shortest direction possible. Means it should happen in the anti-clockwise direction. If that is happening, okay, once you find the direction, you need to curl the fingers of your right hand. Okay, don't get confused with right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule is different. Here I'm trying to talk about the cross product of vectors. So first find the direction in which you are supposed to do the rotation of the first vector with respect to second. Once you find it, curl the fingers of your right hand in that particular direction, then thumb will give you the direction of the resultant. Okay, so for example, this case, if this is a vector, this is b vector, a cross b is going to be in this direction. So with respect to me, from this side, if I am able to see, it is appearing in the counterclockwise. So when I curl the fingers of my right hand in the counterclockwise direction, the thumb gives the direction of the resultant. Okay, if keeping the same context in mind, if I make this as I cap and I make this as j cap, what is going to be I cross j? I cross j means from I, you need to turn towards the j in the shortest direction possible, that is in the anti-clockwise direction. When you curl it like this, then this is going to be the resultant. So this is positive I cap, positive j cap, anything towards me is going to be positive k cap. That is why we wrote I cross j to be plus k cap. Whereas when you do j cross I, from j you need to come to the I cap. Okay, when you're doing this j cross I, you need to curl the fingers of your right hand in the clockwise direction. When you do that, the thumb is going to be away from me. Away from me is going to be minus k cap. That is the reason why I wrote it as minus k cap. Similar is the logic that you can apply for other cases also. Okay. So, keeping this in mind, let's go back to the page. So, keeping this thing in mind, I want someone to tell me what is the direction in which the magnetic field is going to be with respect to the conductor I have drawn here.
So the east to west. No, west to east.
Okay, let's keep this west and east
Into the
aside.
plane of the paper.
That's what I wanted. It is going to be into the plane of the paper. Right, you applied right hand thumb rule, am I right? By the way, from next time when you speak, yes, tell your name so that I get used to your voices. Who is this actually?
Rohit.
Rohit, okay. Yeah, Rohit, that's right. So it is going to be into the plane. So there are two symbols that are used. One is going to be into the plane, into with cross mark with the circle around is into the plane. Dot with the circle around it is going to be out of the plane. There is a symbol, the notations that are used, okay? So here it is going to be into the plane. Now what I'm going to do is, using this logic, I'm going to find, using the different permutations and combinations, I will do what does ideal cross R have to tell me and R cross ideal has to tell me, okay? Now, observe, I'm just doing a small restructuring in the diagram. Instead of taking a wire which is bent in a random shape, I'm taking a straight wire. I'm calling it as ideal. Let's say there is a point P where you're trying to calculate the field, the distance. So this R vector is there. No, there is one important point I wanted to mention. This R vector should always be started from, the R vector should always be started from the DL, that should be the starting point, and P should be the ending point. Okay, this is how you draw. So ideal cross R. Now, okay, I'll make it even more simple. So if I take this point as P, then this distance is going to be r vector, right? Now if I do IDL cross r, okay, I into dl vector cross r vector. So dl vector is in which direction? Can you tell me? Dl vector takes the direction of current. Anyone? Is it in the direction of I cap, j cap, or k cap? Which direction?
J cap.
Sir, Srivatsan J cap, sir.
J cap cross, what is r vector? Sorry, r vector's direction.
I cap, sir.
That's good. So j cap cross I cap. I'm leaving it there itself. Okay. I have first tried to experiment on ideal cross r. Now I'm going to experiment on I into r vector cross dl vector. This, see, I'm giving you the ideas to think. This is how you're supposed to do. Okay. You need not do it in the exam and all. It is for you to have a clarity. So how to do r vector cross dl vector? It is going to be I cap cross j cap. Now let's revisit the vectors concept. When I did I cross j, I got it as k cap. When I did j cross k, I got it as minus k cap. So j cross I, according to me, is minus k cap. This is k cap. But what does right hand thumb rule has to tell us? Right hand thumb rule states something, no? It says for the current which is flowing in the upward direction, you take a point on the right side of the conductor. I'm repeating it again, listen. When the current is flowing in the upward direction, when you take a point on the right side of it, the field is into the plane. Into the plane is away from us. Away from us, minus k cap. So minus k cap is here, whereas this is plus k cap. So what is the combination I'm supposed to take into consideration? It is
Minus k cap.
Yeah, that means I need to do it. I need to write the cross product as I into dl vector cross r vector. I should not write it as r cross dl. Okay, this will help you to remember the formula, why it is so. So please be careful about it. Then dB vector, so dB will be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi into ideal vector cross r vector divided by r cube. I did a small manipulation. So what I did here is, so if you look at the scalar form, I don't have r in the numerator. To get r in the numerator, what I did is I multiplied and divided with the r so that the denominator becomes r cube. That's what I've written here. So please be careful when you're writing it in the scalar form, the denominator is r square. When you're writing it in the vector form, the denominator is r cube, and I need to write it as dB vector. So this is going to be the vector form for, there's going to be the vector form for Biot-Savart law. Just like how you learnt the Coulomb's law in vector form, this is also existing Biot-Savart law. Am I clear? Is there anyone having a doubt?
Sir, for ideal vector, it's only dl that has the vector sign, right? Not ideal.
No, I doesn't have.
Okay.
The reason why I wrote it as ideal is because you will remember that dl will take the direction of current.
Okay.
Okay. So the dl is generally called as the current carrying element. Okay. And one more important point, when you're applying this formula, if it is dl here it should be dB. Please make a note of it, because dl will generate a very small value of magnetic field. That is the reason. Okay. So there is a vector form for Biot-Savart law. I hope things are clear.
Sir, what is mu naught depend on?
Okay. Mu naught has something to do with the electromagnetic waves. Generally, you know the speed of light, right? You will learn this in electromagnetic waves. C is equal to 1 divided by root of mu naught into epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is called as the permittivity of free space. Mu naught is called as the permeability of free space. I forgot to tell this. Thanks for bringing the question. So mu naught by 4 pi is there, right? This mu naught is called as the permeability of free space. Means how much permission the space is giving for the magnetic field to be created at that point. So mu naught divided by 4 pi. And remember, I didn't give you the units. The SI unit for magnetic field is Tesla. Other units you know. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
to figure out that I cap, J cap, and K cap, which you showed us down,
Okay.
we can also use the Fleming's left-hand rule, right? Which we learned the
Fleming's left hand. Yeah, that can be used, but Fleming's left-hand rule is used only when you know the force. When you need to calculate the force experienced, when you know two parameters, that is the magnetic field and the current. You're able to understand. So you cannot use that. So for if current is there, if you want to find magnetic field, here magnetic field is unknown. If you want to do that, you have to apply only right hand thumb rule.
Oh, okay.
Whereas
Okay.
if you have current and magnetic field, then you can apply Fleming's left hand rule.
Okay.
That you learn in this chapter. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, mu not medium dependent.
Sorry, ma'am. Mu not.
Mu not medium dependent.
Yeah, it is medium dependent. Mu not means not. Wherever you see not in physics, it is with respect to vacuum.
Okay.
Okay, if you simply write it as mu, that is going to be the permeability of that particular medium. About this mu, right? About the permeability, we'll be discussing more in the next chapter. You will have an understanding of it. Because it depends on the particles restructuring and all those things. Okay. So this mu naught by 4 pi is 10 power minus 7. Can someone tell me what is going to be the SI unit for it? I'm just telling you only one thing. The SI unit of magnetic field is Tesla. Tesla is the name of a scientist. That is why if you see the unit, it is written in uppercase. So Tesla. So you know the SI unit of current, you know the SI unit of dl, r square, sine theta has no units.
Sir, Siddharth, sir.
Sorry, no? Siddharth.
Ampere by meter, sir.
Is it only ampere per meter? You left this part, no? You left this Tesla. Tesla
ampere.
Tesla ampere per meter.
No. Why are you leaving that ampere per meter on the right hand side itself? It should go to the left, no?
Tesla meter per ampere.
It is Tesla meter per ampere. Okay, it is 10 power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Be careful with these kind of stuffs. Okay. So this is all about the basics of Biot-Savart law. So to summarize, what is this Biot-Savart law used for? If you have a current carrying conductor and you have a current carrying element present in the current carrying conductor and you want to calculate the magnetic field due to the current carrying element at point P, then the formula that is used is mu naught ideal sine theta divided by r square, 4 pi r square in the scalar form, or mu naught divided by 4 pi into ideal cross r vector divided by r cube in the vector form. Okay. So this is the major part. See, just like every chapter, if you observe, there will be two laws. Say, for example, if you take the first chapter, there is Coulomb's law, which was the first law that we learned, and there was a shortcut law. What was it? That is Gauss law. To calculate the same electric field, instead of, so wherever you have symmetry, it was easy for us. So in the second chapter, you didn't have much. Third chapter, you had two laws. What are they? One is Ohm's law. So when the circuits became complicated, the shorter way for us to find is Kirchhoff's law. In a similar way, for calculating magnetic field in this chapter, we have Biot-Savart law, which is going to go according to the pure mathematical expressions. And you have a counter law also, which is called as Ampere's circular law, which is similar to the Gauss law concept, which we have discussed in the first chapter. That we will see later. So as of now, our topic of discussion is going to be only on Biot-Savart law and how to calculate the magnetic field due to different kinds of system using this Biot-Savart. Okay. Next. So with this knowledge, we will do one particular problem from the textbook. So just give me a minute. NCERT textbooks, yeah. Physics. Chapter 4. So we will do this problem. Now see. So there is a problem which is based on Biot-Savart law. We will solve this problem using the vectorial method as well as the scalar form. We will see how to solve. So the question goes like this. Those who have the textbook, you can keep it open. Those who don't have, you can look at the screen. So the question is like this. An element delta L, it is not 1, a delta L is equal to delta x I cap is placed at the origin and carries a large current I is equal to 10 ampere. What is the magnetic field on the y-axis at a distance of 0.5 meter? Delta x is equal to 1 centimeter. Okay. Now how to calculate the magnetic field? We know the formula dB is equal to mu naught ideal sine theta divided by r square. Now I'm going to solve the problem using this method in the first place. Okay, so dB is equal to, so 4 pi is there, mu naught by 4 pi into ideal sine theta divided by r square. Mu naught by 4 pi is going to be 10 power minus 7 into, what is the value of I? I is going to be 10 ampere into, in the place of dl, there is delta L, I will write it as delta x. What is going to be the magnitude of this? That is going to be delta x, right? Sine of what? Sine of the angle between the current carrying element and the radial vector. If you observe, the radial vector is upwards, the current carrying element is to the right, the angle between them is going to be 90 degrees. So sine of 90 degrees, the whole divided by r square, because mu naught by 4 pi I have already combined, r is 0.5. So it is going to be 0.5 meter, right? The whole square, right? Now what is the value of delta x? So it is going to be 10 power minus 7 into 10 into, the value of delta x is going to be 1 centimeter, that is 10 power minus 2 meter into sine 90 is going to be 1, divided by 25 into 10 power minus 2. It is going to be 0.25. I wrote it as 25 into 10 power minus 2. So this and this will get cancelled. So I can write it as 100 into 10 power minus 6 divided by 25. Just a minute. So 10 ampere, right? So 10 into delta x. Delta x is going to be 1 centimeter. That's 10 power minus 2. So this is going to be this should be equal to 4 into, did I make any calculation mistake? 10 power minus 7 into I is 10 into delta x is 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter is 10 power minus 2 into sine 90 is 1 divided by 25 into 10 power minus 2. So 25 and 4, it should be 10 power
Sir,
minus
it's supposed to be 10 power minus 6 by 25. You added 100 on the
Where my 10 power, where is it? Where did I
should
do
be
that?
10 power minus 6 by 25.
Ah, that's right. So I added 100, no? So I should compensate it with 10 power minus 2. That's right. So 4 into 10 power minus 8 Tesla. Thank you. So 4 into 10 power minus 8 Tesla is going to be the magnitude. Now, how to find the direction? So direction, you are going to again apply the right hand thumb rule. I am leaving this part to you. You know how to do it. See, if the current carrying conductor is like this, no? You always tilt and see. So if I turn this anti-clockwise, that is, you turn your paper anti-clockwise and see, then you can observe that the current carrying conductor is in the upward. Remember only this point, you will get all the answers. If the current is in the upward direction, on the right of it, the field is always into. On the left of it is always upward. Okay. Since this side is in this direction, on the right of it, it will be into, on the left of it, it will be upward. So this side will be upward, this side will be into. Unlike electric field, where electric field is in the same direction, whereas magnetic field is going to be perpendicular to the plane. That is the reason. So I hope this method is clear. So 4 into 10 power 8 or 10 power minus 8 Tesla. So this is using the scalar form. Now I am going to use the vector form to solve the same problem. How to do it? Okay. So the vector form is going to be dl vector is equal to, sorry, db vector is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi into ideal vector cross r vector, the whole divided by r cube, right? So mu naught by 4 pi is 10 power minus 7, going to be 10. Del L can be written as del x I cap cross r vector can be written as r is in the upward direction. It is going to be 0.5 j cap, the whole divided by, what is r cube? R cube is 0.5 the whole cube. So this 0.5 and this will get cancelled once. So 0.5 the whole square is left out. So 10 power minus 6 into del x is 10 power minus 2 into, what is I cap cross j cap? It is going to be k cap. So k cap the whole divided by 25 into 10 power minus 2. Right. So again doing the same procedure, I'll get it as 4 into 10 power minus 8 Tesla, and it is in the direction of k cap. So are you clear with these two ideas?
Sir, I'm sorry, could you explain that right hand rule part again about it being on the right and the left? Just
Okay.
that bit.
So you want me to say without using the right hand how to find, right?
No, sir, using the right hand only. You told
Okay,
me on the
using the
left
right hand.
hand.
Okay, okay, nothing. See, if I have a conductor, you're able to see the conductor, right? If I have a conductor AB, if the current is flowing in the upward direction, okay, for this particular conductor, if the current is flowing in upward direction, remember, for any current carrying conductor, on either side of it, or for any current carrying conductor, on either side of it, the magnetic fields are always in the opposite direction. Because if you recollect this concept from your 10th standard, you would have drawn some circular rings around it, if you remember. So you will draw an arrow mark like this. This means one side it is going into the plane, the other side it is coming out of the plane. That is the meaning. So if the current is flowing in the upward direction, now what you do is immediately place the thumb of your right hand on the paper in the upward direction. Okay, place it in the rightward thumb and extend the fingers of your right hand and try to curl. When you try to curl on the right of it, according to this question, are your fingers going towards the paper or away from the paper?
Oh, okay. It's going
It is
towards
going
the people.
towards the paper means it is into. Whereas when you come on the other side, what will happen is it will come out of the paper.
Okay.
Okay, that is why I drew it like this. So if you're able to find it one side, the other side can be found out very easily.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just a small clarification.
Yeah, tell me.
If the curling of the fingers is going into the paper, it's K cap. If it's going away from the paper,
Into the paper is minus k cap.
Into the-
Anything away from you. Okay, see, basic coordinate system, you know this, right? I cap, j cap. So there is positive x-axis, positive y-axis. Okay, only z-axis will be a confusion. Z-axis, with respect to z-axis, anything away from you is negative. Anything towards you is positive. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, what I generally suggest everyone is, instead of using right hand thumb rule, I suggest you to go with vectors. Okay, there is a high possibility that you might make mistakes sometimes. So whereas vectors will not cheat you, it will directly give you the answer because you have a standard formula. I cross j is going to be k cap, it is fixed. You need not use a right hand or left hand. Okay, but till you get used to it, see, trust me, I've seen students doing it. Till you get used to it, just solve everything using both the methods, but concentrate more on the vectors part so that you get clarity on both. You get grip on both the aspects. You will understand. Even if one goes wrong, you can be good with the other. Right? Anything else? Any other doubt? So this is one of the problems. We concentrated on Biot-Savart law alone. So the next, what we are going to learn is the applications of Biot-Savart law. Applications in the sense we will see for different kinds of current carrying conductors having different shapes. If it is a straight conductor, what is going to be the field? If it is a circular conductor, what is going to be the field? That is what is given here. See. Magnetic field on the axis of a circular loop. This is a slightly tricky concept. I'll not say it is complicated. It's slightly tricky, but yeah, we'll crack it with the help of vectors. If you apply right hand thumb rule, yes, it is going to be slightly tricky for you to understand. So this is the topic which we will see in the next class. So next class, what I will do is I will derive. There is one more concept which is actually not there in the textbook. That is calculating the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor. Because if I see, the reason is if I start this topic now, it will take at least half an hour for me to explain. Okay, so that I'll start. It's better I start it fresh in the next class. So next class, what we are going to see is magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor and magnetic field on the axis of a circular current carrying. That is this topic. So these two are very important, and we will solve few problems based on it. Okay. So I hope there is no other doubt. There is no doubt, we can wind up the session. Just let me know. Clear? Okay, since I didn't get any response, clear, sir. Okay. Okay, I'll end the session. I'll see you on Wednesday.